Two Israelis have today been indicted on terror charges after a Palestinian family was attacked with an axe during a rampage by settlers in the West Bank town of Huwara earlier this month. It's alleged Akiva Rabin from Jerusalem and Raz Chaim Garon from the settlement of Yitzhar attacked the family while they were sitting in a car near a supermarket. The two were arrested 1 week after the attack. The Shin Bet Security Service says they are members of a violent group that tries to hurt Palestinians and disrupt Israeli security force activity in the West Bank. The rampage in Huwara happening hours after a Palestinian terror attack in which two Israeli brothers were shot dead. On that day, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called on settlers not to take the law into their own hands. So for more, we bring in Palestinian affairs expert Alon Eviatar, former advisor to COGAT, the coordinator for government activities in the territory. So Alon, horrific scenes unfolding on that day. The settler rampage in Huwara hours after two Israeli brothers were killed in that terror attack. Your response as to why it's taken so long for charges to be laid?
It's a good question because, immediately after the Huwara case, while those two terrorists, maybe more, we saw dozens of people try to burn houses and cars and made a lot of damage over there. The police and the Shabak together open a file which means a new investigation, and we supposed to see hard evidence immediately, a few days after. But I think, and I can assume that those Jews or also their colleagues try to do their best to hide evidence or to try to put obstacles in this investigation in order to be clear, if you want, without any accused. But I think that now, while we have two Jews that the police and the Shabak arrested them as administrative arrest, this file will continue, and I think the state must not give up in this investigation in order to not just to make let's say order in this event, but in order to also to prevent another option of terror in this area. And I think that we should not make any discrimination or difference between Jews' investigation and Arab investigations while we are speaking about terror. Terror is a very severe phenomena, and the state should fight it in all its tools.
And given exactly what you're saying, Alon, more broadly speaking, across the West Bank, what kinds of security coordination are happening right now, given the concerns during Ramadan?
Well, the security coordination between the PA apparatuses, security apparatuses, and the Israeli forces still exists, especially in the low and the middle levels, not in the high. I mean that the local commanders in the IDF and their colleagues in the Palestinian side, which means commanders of the Palestinian districts, in the national security apparatus, are working together even now and cooperate in order to prevent, terror attacks and violence, white violence. But I can say that I can add that the main mission is under the Jews' side, which means we are Israel still responsible on the security issues,
right?
And hope to coordinate with the PA apparatuses in order to keep the security channel still exist,
right?
But we can assume that we have to trust ourselves and not let the Palestinians do our jobs. But I mean that Israel has still main interest,
right?
Continue work with the PA even in those, I would say, bad periods or bad days.
Difficult times, many concerns across the region. Alon Eviatar, Colonel in the Reserves, as always, appreciate your insight.